Hi, my name's Danny Archer. I'm a weight loss and food cravings expert, and today I wanted to share with you some of the ways that childhood programming can actually set you up to have difficulties with weight and specifically food cravings. So what I mean with childhood programming is patterns that you've brought from your childhood that you're probably not even aware of. And these can really impact your food choices and the cravings that you have for specific foods. So I'm just going to run you through a few of the ways that can happen and see if you relate to any of these. You might relate to one, you might relate to all of them. So the first one is self-reward. And this is a really common one. A lot of parents will comfort their children with food and reward them with food. Even something as simple as getting a lollipop at the doctor's when you get your immunizations. It sets up that pattern that food makes me feel better. And so when we get to adulthood, there's no one giving us lollipops when we're sad. We have to do that ourselves. And this is when that self-reward pattern can really come into play. So if you find yourself rewarding yourself with food, comforting yourself with food, using food to make you feel better, have a think back to your childhood and just think where that might have come from, because chances are it's a ingrained pattern that you've got from someone in your family, someone who was around when you were younger, and it may even just be a whole lot of little experiences put together. But that's a really common one for a lot of people. Another one is food creating happiness. So food's used to celebrate. I know myself, if we had an award ceremony at school, we would always get ice cream on the way home. So those kind of things can actually teach you that ice cream equals happiness. You know, like when there's happiness around, there's ice cream around. And so when you're feeling down, ice cream might then be what you turn to as an adult. So it's really interesting looking back at these patterns, and if you are craving specific foods, is there something around that that's actually linked back to a childhood pattern that you're not aware of? You might even associate certain foods with certain people. Again, ice cream. I think I ate a lot of ice cream as a kid. My granddad would always give us ice cream when we spent time with him. So I do associate ice cream with him, and this can be particularly applicable if that person is no longer around. So I'm lucky that my pa is still here. If that person is no longer around, sometimes reaching for that food is your way of feeling closer to that person. So if that's the case for you, look at some other ways that you can feel close to that person and respect that person without actually needing those foods that you associate with them. Another way that we kind of link back to our childhood is if you find yourself eating the same kind of foods that you ate in your childhood, foods that probably are more kiddie foods than adult foods, it can actually just be you want to go back to that happier time. For a lot of us, our childhood was a much easier time, and sometimes we crave foods that will kind of take us back to those happier times, to those easier times, to those times when we had a strong family unit and were supported and looked after and all of those things. So if you do tend to look for foods that you did eat as a child, and particularly foods that adults don't really eat, like it might be Fruit Loops, it could be anything, that may be the reason why, that you're actually wanting to go back to that happier time. So that's another way. And the final way is family traditions. So I often have clients say to me that they can't reduce their portion sizes because that's just what their family does. They have big portion sizes. And I always coach them through, let's find another way to respect your family's traditions and culture and, you know, those big, beautiful family habits and patterns that we have. Let's find another way to respect and enjoy those without any detriment to your health and your weight as well. So respecting family traditions is perfect. Of course, do that. But it doesn't have to be through the portion size on your plate. It doesn't have to be linked to food in any way. So there's some of the ways that childhood programming can cause food cravings. And of course, as you know, food cravings makes it really hard to lose weight. So I hope that video has been helpful. I'm sure you can relate to at least one of those. And just recognizing where that craving is coming from is a really important step in actually overcoming that food craving.